Hello guys, welcome back. In this video we'll be discussing chapter 9th, reproduction in animals, class 8th. Okay, so in this lesson we'll be discussing about the reproduction in animals, that is two types, that is asexual and sexual. So we'll first take up with what you understand by the word reproduction. Okay, so reproduction is nothing but a biological process, we can say. The biological process by which or in which what happens, in which new individual or we can say offspring means new individual only, okay, or we can say baby. Okay, so the biological process in which new individual or a offspring is produced is this process is called as reproduction. Okay, so basically the reproduction means the biological process in which new individual, or we can say other word, offspring is produced, is known as this whole process is called as reproduction. Now talking about reproduction in animals, there can be two types of reproduction. Okay, two mode of reproduction. One is asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Okay, so there can be two types of reproduction. One is sexual reproduction and another one is asexual reproduction. So what happens in sexual and asexual? What is the difference between these two? So the main difference comes here is, say, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So asexual reproduction, in which this type of reproduction, what happens is that fertilization process is absent here. Fertilization process is absent here. What happens in sexual reproduction? Fertilization process happens, we can say. So fertilization process happens or occurs. So basically for sexual reproduction there should be two parents involved. Asexual reproduction, only one single parent is involved. We'll be discussing in detail about asexual and sexual reproduction. Okay, so basic idea here is that in sexual reproduction, this is a type of reproduction in which fertilization, what you understand by the word fertilization, it is nothing but the fusion of what? Sperms, we can say a sperm and an ovum. Ovum is nothing but, other words, egg. Okay, a sperm and an ovum, fusion of these two, meeting of these two. That means sperm is nothing but the male gamete and the egg or ovum is nothing but the female gamete. Meeting of these two or the fusion of these two, male and female gamete, results into the process of what? Fertilization. So that is there, that should be there in the sexual reproduction. Okay, so sexual reproduction involves the process of fertilization, that means the fusion of sperm, or we can say fusion of male gamete as well as a female gamete. This happens, or we can say in this sexual reproduction two parents are involved. Asexual reproduction, only single parent is involved, and the second difference, we can say fertilization process does not happen. Okay, so this is the basic difference between asexual and sexual reproduction. So we'll be taking up next the male reproductive. First we'll take up with the sexual reproduction, and in that we'll be discussing what happens in the animals.